Are you feeling lost and don't know what you're supposed to do with your life? Have you ever asked yourself, what am I doing? Or if you feel confused about your purpose, your mission, your drive, or your dream, this video is for you. My name is Lisa Canning. I'm a mom of 8 gorgeous kids, and I help moms pursue their dreams while being great moms at the same time. And today I want to talk about what to do when you feel lost. And especially today, given the election results that have just occurred, I'm sure there are a lot of people who are feeling all kinds of feelings. So I hope this video helps you navigate what's important to you and how that gets translated into actions. So whenever one of my coaching clients will come to me and say, Lisa, I honestly just don't know what my dreams are anymore. I don't know what my purpose is. I become a mom and yet I still feel like something's missing, or I have done the big career, but I just feel like there's still something really missing in my life. This is where I begin. For me, the answer to all these questions, the answers to the question of what am I supposed to do with my time? Am I supposed to start a side hustle? Am I supposed to start the elections have taken all of my brain power. Oh my gosh. Let me know in the comments if you need to be turning off the news as well. If you're asking yourself questions like, am I supposed to start a side hustle or not? Am I supposed to go back to work or not? Am I supposed to be a stay-at-home mom or not? The answer to all of that, this is what I advise my one-on-one and group coaching clients on all day, every day, is legacy. What is the legacy you want to leave? And that is where I think people need to begin this conversation. When you are thinking about and dreaming about and asking yourself, what is the dream? What is my dream? What am I supposed to be doing with my time? It's looking at legacy. And so let's unpack that. I go into this quite a bit in, I think it's chapter maybe 3 or 4 in my book, The Possibility Mom. And it all began for me personally with a book called Living Forward by Michael Hyatt and Daniel Harkavy. And I stumbled upon this book when it first came out several years ago now. And I remember it was during the time of my minivan meltdown when I was asking so many questions about what in the dang heck I was supposed to be doing with my life, when I had experienced all of this success in interior design, but then it basically had come at the expense of my family and my health and my marriage. And I knew that I didn't want to continue on the trajectory that I was heading, putting so much of my life's emphasis and energy on my career. But I also knew that I had some gifts in those areas, and I didn't want to squander them, not be responsible with them. And I also enjoyed them, and they brought money to my family. And so at that time, when I was asking all these questions about Lord, what do you want from my life? What on earth am I supposed to do? Because you wouldn't have given me these gifts if I wasn't supposed to use them. What do you want me to do? I stumbled upon this book, and it was hugely revelatory. And the activity that they have you do right off the bat, and I have this in my book as well, is to write your own obituary. And this can be such an interesting exercise to do because it can help you in just a few short moments. This does not need to be a long experience. And in fact, I will put down below a link where you can go and grab the downloads for my book and grab a worksheet on how to create your own obituary, as well as the examples from other moms. But in just a few short minutes, honestly, I think when I wrote this the very first time, I think it might have taken me, I don't know, less than 30 minutes to write out. And it was actually a fairly simple process. I remember the words came out so naturally. But what is so interesting is that it can show you where the gaps are in your life today. So I'll never forget, I did this. Let me talk about myself, and then I'm going to give you an example of someone else. So when I did this the very first time, again, this was about 6 years ago, I want to say, during my minivan meltdown period. I just remember the words came out so easily, like this. I just remember it was like fire through my fingers on the computer. And when I read it back, I had to like take a huge, like, just like gulp of humble pie, because I just realized how much my life didn't look like what I had written. And for me, as a Catholic, I remember the first thing I wrote was that I hope I'm remembered as someone who loved Jesus and was insatiable, I think was the word, was insatiable, innovative. I think the word I used was relentless in sharing him with others. And I remember reading that back and realizing that at that time, I wasn't really confident about my Catholic identity. I tried to hide it, actually. I worked in television and interior design where it was a very liberal audience. And I always felt like I had to kind of like just downplay and censor and hide my faith, to be honest. And so as a result, I realized that if I continued living the way I was, that would never come true. My desire to be remembered as someone who loved Jesus would never be actualized because I wasn't doing anything at that time to share my love of him, just to be very honest. You know, I gave this workshop, the process of going through my book in Salt Lake City, Utah, with a group of beautiful Salt Lake based influencers. And I'll never forget this beautiful mom who had a ginormous following, who was doing such cool things like live TV and all the things, was very well respected among her peers. She shared very vulnerably. She shared something to the effect of, I'm doing a lot of things in my life right now that are fun, but aren't the things that I actually really want to be remembered for. And so I think we can fall into these sort of traps and patterns of living life unintentionally. You know, you might get an opportunity, for example, in a job, and you might just kind of continue to take advantage of that opportunity, and you might rise, you know, the ranks or what have you. But then realize, like, just because you're good at it, it doesn't mean it's the thing that you want your life to have stood for. I think there's a really important distinction between something you're good at and something you're made for. Let me say that again for the people in the back. I think there's a very distinct difference between something you're good at and something you're made for. I think in my own life, I look at interior design. I was good at interior design. I was able to work with clients, work with families, renovate homes, renovate my own home, and I had a fair level of competency. And I liked it. I really like it. In fact, I still do it. You can go to my blog and follow along with my one room challenge, which is going to reveal next week. And I'm going to do a full YouTube tour of that. If you're interested in interior design, I'll link you some videos right here in the cards. I enjoy it, but I don't think it's the thing I'm made for, if that makes sense. What I do think the thing that I am made for is what I'm doing right here, right now. Giving hope to moms, helping moms discover what it is that is their dream, that is their legacy, the thing that they are meant to do all day, every day. That's the thing I think I'm made for. And I think that we can just get, by no fault of our own, if we have not received coaching or if we've not received feedback from people, we can fall into traps or into, trap is probably not the best word. We can just fall into patterns that are comfortable, but comfortable isn't always what is best for us. There is a book that I love called Atomic Habits. And if I'm not mistaken, I hope I'm quoting him correctly, but I'm pretty sure I am. But he says something to the effect of like, you might like vanilla ice cream, and you might just continue to select vanilla ice cream because it's the safe and reliable choice. But there might be a flavor out there that you love so much more. Um, but because you always stay vanilla, you have no idea what's out there. Something along those lines. And that's what I think the process of designing your legacy helps to clarify. I think it helps to clarify if you actually love vanilla or don't. So let me know in the comments if this is something you struggle with as well. Do you struggle with knowing exactly what your purpose is? Do you struggle with feeling fulfilled or like you're confident in the choices that you're making? Have you ever asked yourself, is there more to this, or is this it? I would love to know, and I will reply to as many comments as I can. I think why this is also scary, and why it's important to have mention in this conversation, is that I really do believe that our ability to go after our true dreams is greatly influenced by the stories that we're telling ourselves in our head. To bring it back to my book, The Possibility Mom, that's why I talk so much about limiting beliefs and how these limiting beliefs come from so many places. They can come from our families of origin. They can come from teachers that we've had. They can come from experiences in our childhood, our friends. Like, it can come from so many different places. And the influence of these limiting beliefs can hold us back, because those are the voices that say, you're not good enough, you're not pretty enough, you're not smart enough, you shouldn't do that. In my work in the Women's School, we talk a lot about the brain and how our brain desires to keep us safe, and how sometimes it can be so scary to go after a new dream when really it's that dream that is ultimately going to bring us the most happiness, the most fulfillment, and also the greatest contribution to the world and impact the most people. And so I love talking about this. I love coaching women on this. And I would love to invite you, if you are asking these questions too, if you would like clarity on what you're supposed to do with your time and what you're supposed to do with your life, I'd love to invite you to join me in my small group mastermind experience. I have 2 new groups starting up this week. They're going to begin Tuesday at 9 a.m. Eastern and Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. And we are going to work through the content of the Art of Being a Woman Masterclass with January Donovan. This is an experience, let me tell you. It's an experience that I have benefited from greatly. It's an experience that many, many, many women have experienced incredible transformation with. And at the end of the day, I think the promise of this program is clarity on who you are and who you're meant to be. And not only that clarity of who you are and who you're meant to be, but the actions you need to take. So let me know if this is you too. Tell me in the comments below if this is you, where you get a great idea, where you go to a conference, where you're so inspired, but then you go home and you don't implement. Or you create the list of New Year's resolutions. You form the groups of accountability online and say you're going to do something. But then life gets in the way, kids get in the way, and you don't actually make forward progress on that goal. The accountability and the process that's involved in my Art of Being a Woman Masterclass will make sure that you move forward. You'll get strategy from me. You'll get accountability from your group members. You will get a plan to go where you want to go in life. And so if this sounds appealing, if the thought or the idea of moving forward in your dreams, your goals, getting clarity on who you are and who you're meant to be. If you desire to live a life that is designed and not by accident, I'd love for you to just click the link below and join me. Spots are very limited, and so I'll be closing the door on this round this Sunday evening, so you've got until tomorrow to go and check it out. And if you've got any questions, please feel free to DM me on Instagram, and I would love to chat with you. My name on Instagram is @LisaCanning. Here's the thing I'd love to just the thing that I think is really important, especially today, in a time of the elections where the results have been announced, where I know there are many people out there who are going to have all kinds of feelings. What kind of a woman do you want to be remembered as? Do you want to be remembered as someone who is graceful in times of uncertainty or not? Do you want to be remembered as someone who contributed positively to her family, to her community, or not? Do you want to be remembered as a loving, present wife, as a cheerleader to her kids, as someone who is generous and gracious, or not? I think sometimes in the space of personal development, this can, this can be, there's humility involved. We have to be able to look at ourselves and say, am I happy with the person I am? Do I want to grow? And these can be hard things to accept, to be honest. But they're necessary. And they're necessary because the more we grow, the more we can show up for the people that we love, the more that we can live out the call that we've been called to. And to be honest, in my opinion, when these are all in line, we become unstoppable. We become like fiery. When we're tired, there is a place that, or a well we can draw from. We are not constantly depleted. So on this day where we've gotten some results, I would love to help you navigate all your feelings, all of your thoughts, and help you take action to your most beautiful life. Click the link below to join me in my Art of Being a Woman mastermind.